How's it going, guys? My name is Javi, and in this quick video, we're going to talk about what is the 5 top books you absolutely need to read this year if you want to be successful. Okay, this is not a book review. I don't want to go very deep into the book. I'm just going to show you what are the top 5 books if you, especially if you're starting your entrepreneur journey, or if you're already an established entrepreneur and you want to get more knowledge on certain things. If you don't read these 5 books, I'm telling you, you're missing out. Okay, so what is the number one book you should read? Definitely, if you haven't read $100 Million Leads by Alex Ramosi, what are you doing? Like, you need to read this book. You need to understand the different types of lead generations. You need to understand pretty much everything there is to know about leads. And I mean, if you haven't read this, I don't know what are you doing. Like, you absolutely have to read this book. If you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business and you're trying to scale and you haven't read a book about leads, then good God Almighty, like, may God help you. But you need to read $100 Million Leads. You absolutely need to read it. Take your time with it because it's a short read. You might think like, oh, I just gotta read this quick. Reread it. Like, I read this book probably like 5 or 6 times. Okay, you need to read this as much as possible. It's gonna help you a lot. The second book I want you guys to read is How to Get Rich. This book is more like philosophy and mindset, but it's so good. This guy sold his companies for like I think he made almost $1 billion. He was like in the magazine industry, and I love the way he writes. I love his philosophy on things. It's a very, very fun book. I highly recommend it. Just go through it. The chapters are amazing. He telling you all like, it's a really, really fun book to read. So please read this. It's by Felix Dennis. So it's not a very well-known book. A lot of people don't know this book, but man, I had a blast reading this book. So How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. Definitely recommended. Read this book this year. Now, the third book, now we're getting a little bit more of the technical side. This is a beautiful book, Who Not How. This book has literally, I read this book and I started firing people like crazy because this book will show you that the real problem sometimes in some businesses is the who, not the how. So when you're once you get to a point you start scaling your business, you start thinking that maybe it's the systems, maybe like the marketing, maybe it's the sales, maybe it's the whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, you might think it's the systems or the ads or whatever, but it's whoever's operating that system, whoever's running those ads, whoever's doing those sales calls is who, not how. So the person on top, steering the ship is usually the person that's going to be responsible for your success or not. And this took me a while to learn. When you're first starting a company, you're only hiring people that you're hiring based off of potential, not experience. We all make this mistake. I started hiring my friends, family, whatever it may be, just hiring based off potential. Like, hey, I know this person's a hard worker. I know they could kind of gain the skills that I need them to, and then hopefully they could, X, Y, and Z. But it is a much better model if you can hire somebody with experience instead of potential. So this book explains that perfectly. Who, not how. If you're stuck in your business right now, it might be because you don't have the right tools to scale. But if you feel like you're doing everything you can and your team is still not scaling, it's definitely you need to like redo your team because they don't have the skills that you need to go to the next level. Very, very important book. Who, not how. If you haven't read this, you need to read it. There's no other way. Okay, now these 2 other books are more about customers, but I think if you're making 50 to 100K per month, you need to read these 2 books. So one is Unreasonable Hospitality. Fuck, this is such a great book. So the person, I forgot his name, where was it? But pretty much the best restaurants in the world, like he runs them, and he explains why Unreasonable Hospitality got those restaurants to high, ranks and whatever it may be. Why they got to be the best restaurants in the world. It was not just the food; it was also the service they provide. So if you're already, doing high volume with clients, read this book. Highly recommended. Unreasonable Hospitality. This will make the difference between you and everybody else. The process, how people will talk about you and your business, and pretty much give you those good reviews and all that stuff. Man, like, and then next to this book is Never Lose a Customer Again. So these 2 books are pretty much like have the same philosophy and idea. Not the same philosophy ideas, but pretty much the same philosophy, yes, but ideas are totally different. So this is Never Lose a Customer Again, which is technically they're doing the same thing. This one, you're pretty much creating an experience for your clients that they're like, holy shit, these people have their crap together, and that's kind of what you want your clients to experience. Like, these people really care about me. These people really know what the hell they're doing. I like even handwritten letters. Like, most companies don't write handwritten letters, but I bet if you start doing that to your clients, they're gonna really appreciate that time, because it takes you a little bit of time to actually write a letter. So those are little small things that this book's kind of explain, and the impact that it has in your business. If those little small things compound, it builds up to a great experience. Okay, so these are the 5 books I want you to read for 2025. Please, if you do read them, reach out to me and be like, hey, have you read the 5 books? Absolutely amazing. You can tell me what do you learn, and we could talk about any other ones you want to read. But yeah, these 5 books are absolutely necessary if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur in 2025. Read these 5 books and you can thank me later.